Classes in session, hitting the books, MLB edition, Tuesday, April the 8th. Ian Cameron and Connor Mack with you. And as we did mention yesterday, it's over for college basketball. Congratulations to the Florida Gators on their national championship in that comeback win against Houston. Pretty crazy how Houston is on the receiving end of a comeback win, and now they're on the other end of it last night in the national championship game. But shout out to the Florida Gators getting it done. Congratulations to C-Mac, as easy as it gets with his best bet there with first half under between Florida and Houston last night.
But I mean, the shots didn't go down for both teams in that game, and it just it's tough for Houston just to be up most of the game. I thought it was tough too. That's why I like Martin. It was Richard kind of had the game. Like, if you were going to hold Clayton to that, I mean, nothing at halftime. Yep. But the only thing was him with nothing and them only down by 3. I'm like, oh, shit. And he never even really exploded. Had a couple big plays, hit a big 3 really and one.
Second half.
Yeah, he had a couple. But the defense was good. And then just for Houston, the last 3 or 4 possessions and the last 2 is just tough to watch. I mean, 19 seconds left, down by 2. Just get to the rack. I mean, they're blowing the whistle like crazy.
Off in the last minute 25, and that did the
insane. That was like, to rewatch it too. I went back and watched the final position. It's like, God damn, man, that's just sucked.
I think
yes, and grab them live. We talked about it. I got either team. I didn't at halftime. It was 3, and I kind of was sitting there when I jumped on the live with Razor last night. I'm like, man, I better bet this. I think they're up 12. I'm like, I might as well take Florida here at 10. I'm talking about it. This is the spot. And next thing you know, they chipped right away, right back in it. Man, but great game. It's tough for the Houston though, especially the people that were backing him. You still made a little money with Florida, right?
Yes, we did. We had them as a few. I just would have made more if Houston had won.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's the unfortunate part. But it is what it is. Credit to Florida. They were played very much like the best team in the country for a large part of the season, especially down the stretch. You could argue no one was playing better than Florida, and they got it done, and they are national champions. So congratulations to them. And with that brings an end to college basketball. This show, Hitting the Books, is going to be all about MLB now. For the next few months starting today. So let's get into it. We've got a Tuesday MLB card to break down. We'll begin with the Cardinals and Pirates. Pittsburgh minus 140, home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pirates. And Sonny, yesterday, Sonny Gray. Good to be able to sing that again. It's been a long time. But when you look at St. Louis and Pittsburgh, look, the weather conditions are flat out horrible for hitters. Cold, wind blowing in. It's the whole bit at PNC Park here tonight for this game. Not to mention you have 2 pretty good pitchers. So the first place you probably lean to is the under, first 5 and or full game. Problem is the total 6.5. I kind of lean to the Pirates a little bit here. I love them more yesterday. I thought that was a great spot for Pittsburgh with St. Louis playing doubleheader Sunday night baseball as well in Boston. It was a great spot to take Pittsburgh last night. They got the job done. I still lean to them again here in this one. And Skeen's not a guy I'm looking to bet against. Let's put it that way. The question is, do you want to lay minus 140? C-Mac, what do you think here? St. Louis, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was a good spot. And I think it's just not a ton of value. You do have Gray on the mound. I think the little bit of the value here is with the Cardinals at this price. It's just like, do you want to fade Skeens here at home? And you could look at this as being short. Pirates finally got a few wins. The bats get going a little bit. You talked about this total down to 6.5. I was leaning Cardinals here or nothing at this price. Also, too, the guy needs to get going. I was looking at in this game. Reynolds DHing in the 2-hole. Some good success off Sonny Gray. Kind of loves hitting those hanging curveballs. He's 10-1 though. That's why I was bringing it up. He hasn't been hot to start the year. He's a guy who's over the years made me a ton of cash. Like when I bet him or Ian Happ, you know those guys. It seems like, man, they cash for you all the time. But his RBI, like I talked about, 260 and the Jack 10-1. I think you could put something up. And he's I think he's 6 for 19, 6 for 18 with a few doubles and a homer off Sonny Gray as well.
All right, there you go. Be careful with the home run props in some of these places and RBI props because we don't know how much
Yeah.
Offense
This one's decent. The wind's it's cold, but it's blowing out to right
Very
here a little bit.
a little bit better. This one, it's cold too, but this is one I was interested in the over, even with the cold temperatures. Dodgers and Nationals. Dodgers -185, road favorites 8.5 the total. I just don't love either pitcher. I think they're marginal fringe arm pitchers at the major league level. Both of these guys, when you look at it, Lord on the mound for the Washington Nationals, and of course Robleski getting the start, the lefty here for the LA Dodgers. I don't think any guys particularly got dominant stuff going into this game. So I think there's the potential here for some runs despite the cold weather. Anything here for you, C-Mac? Dodgers, Nationals? Nothing for me on the side.
Yeah, Dodgers, the deepest, have the best pitching in all of baseball. All of a sudden, guys falling down. Of course, they're regularly still. Glasnow, Gonson's still not back yet, so you got to bring up Warbliski from AAA. I think you give a few good innings. We'll see. Dodgers off the loss. It's one thing I didn't bet it kind of big. I thought the number was sharp too. I talked about it wasn't very big with Gord, but Dodgers sticking around at the White House all day long, taking pictures after loss. I kind of maybe they come out sleepy, and they won the first 5-3-2. They lost the full game as well in that one. But I did have the under that did lose. But yeah, I don't know about what Lord will give you here. If you look to the Dodgers, I'd like Miami sitting in the 3-hole. Tommy Edman, these guys, Hernandez, they go, and the bottom guys, Kike, Max Muncy, need to get going. I mean, come on. Will Smith not in the lineup too, as well. Barnes sighting.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That's a backup catcher getting the opportunity here for the LA Dodgers tonight in this one. All right, we move along to the Toronto Blue Jays and Boston Red Sox. Boston -210, home favorites, 8 the total in this game. And you say on your paper, that's a pretty big price for Boston, but they've got their prized acquisition in the offseason. They got him from the White Sox, Crochet, and he pitched well last year for the White Sox. He's been just as good so far this season in a couple of starts for the Red Sox. Really, really strong beginning to the season for Garrett Crochet in his first 2 outings with Boston. That being said, the guy that's on the mound for the Blue Jays is the lefty Easton Lucas. He actually pitched pretty well the first time we saw him. It's a guy that doesn't throw hard, but he's a pitcher that certainly has the ability to get major league hitters out. He's kind of crafty, kind of knows how to pitch, works both sides of the plate. And when you're not familiar with his stuff, he knows how to pitch. And, on another night where the weather's not exactly great at Fenway Park, it was cold as fuck, drizzly, windy, blowing in last night. The weather was just horrific for that game. And it's pretty damn cold there tonight as well. This could be an under. And it's not like the Blue Jays are crushing the ball. I know the last night they finally came to life a little bit offensively, but that guy, and one of the best names in baseball, Dick Fitz. I mean, my goodness. You can't script
Dick
this
Fitz.
stuff. But that's actually his name. Yeah, Dick Fitz last
Dickie
night.
Fitz.
For Boston. You can't script it. That's his name, but that's another story. I wasn't impressed, and I figured the Jays might be able to do some damage because I took the Jays yesterday. Thought it was a good spot, the good vibes of Vladdy signing the long-term contract, and a nice spot to back the Jays. I'm not going against Crochet, though. He's that good. But 210, I don't want to lay that big of a price either. C-Mac, what do you think here?
Yeah, this wind's kind of like a crosswind, like 25, 30, or a little bit to the, right field, kind of the bullpen, the foul line, kind of a strange wind like you talked about, and cold. And in when these teams have got together lately, the under has been there. There's some 7.5s out now. I don't know. We talked about Blue Jays been playing unders early on. The bats, I probably feel pretty good for what the record is for the bats really haven't woke up here. Easton Lucas, he can pitch a little bit, but I don't think he's very good. And he's 28 years old. He had that good start, just came up in the first one, but I don't know if he's going to be around a long time. That's good for the Jays if they could get something out of him. I think that's what they're looking for. I like the Red Sox. Is a big price in this game. We talked about the total. Their cheap total is 4.5, right around -110. I don't love the run line home teams too much, but I think they get to him because the first 5 -0.5 was still -145 around there. But full game here, so you can get +107. I'm looking that way with the Red Sox. I think they get the win after the loss last night.
Yeah, I definitely a Boston spot. They got their premier pitcher. I could see Boston winning. Yeah, no doubt. I just didn't love the price. All right, Angels and
Yeah.
Rays. Tampa Bay minus 170, home favorites 8.5. This might be Tampa Bay minus 1 for me. That's what I bet. Rays minus 1, full game run line. You could even go first 5 innings minus a half a run if you want. I certainly like Boz better than Hendricks. I mean, we're not stretching the truth with that, but I think Shane Boz at home can pitch pretty well here. I think Tampa Bay is a sizable favorite. I don't think much of Kyle Hendricks. I just don't. He's not a guy I trust. So I think the Rays get it done. You could go Rays team total over as well, but the Tampa Bay lineup still sometimes never quite sure, even against a suspect pitcher, that they're going to do the damage that's required for a team total. So I prefer to go with the first 5 in a full game run line split here with Tampa Bay. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's Rays here. No, Angels playing well. It's like, how long? Mike Trout looking great. How long? I'm got the Angel hat on here. As they're really telling me, what happened to Mike Trout?
Coming. You know it.
It's coming, yeah. When I wear this, people are like, geez, what happened to Mike Trout? He was drunk fucking when I wear this hat. But I always think it's so funny. Funniest shit ever. Like, man, Trout's he's let it go. Anyways, in this game. But the bats have been good in that series. They scored a bunch of runs this year. The bullpen might be a little bit better. How long does that last? But this Hendricks here on the road, we know, just junk, crafty guy, and obviously for years was a solid pitcher. And he can get tattooed. I don't really love the Rays lineup. And I looked to someone who's red hot is Brandon Lowe in the 2 holes. He already has 3 home runs. Vano, I think this look to him tonight. Kind of, I think a good matchup too with Hendricks. He's not blowing anybody away in this game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good home run candidate. Of course, we'll do Jack of the Day every day on this show, right before Best Bets, the Jack of the Day segment. So our home run props coming up later on. All right, Philadelphia and Atlanta. We've got the Braves minus 115 favorites, slight home favorites, 7 the total in this game. It's very hard to, pick or bet one of these pitchers over the other. They're both pretty good. Wheeler in the sky keeps on turning. Zach Wheeler for the Philadelphia Phillies, and of course Chris Sale for the Atlanta Braves. Definitely feels like this could be lower scoring as well with these 2 guys on the mound. Sale with the bounce back, renaissance, resurgence season last year, and obviously Wheeler in his first couple of starts, pretty solid, or his first start, I should say, against the Rockies. Very solid 3-hit shutout ball in 6 innings. And this is an Atlanta lineup that's still not really hitting, other than the 10-run outburst they had against Miami in that one game in the series. Then they get shut out.
They got shut out.
I know.
It looks like shit.
By Cal Quantrill, of all people. Who was
by Quantrill.
Right before that. So I still don't trust this Braves lineup. It's one of these deals where I think it's a wash with Wheeler versus Sale. They're both good. I just trust the better bats. If I were to bet this one, it could only be the Phillies for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
That's how I feel. It feels like, looking to the Phillies are a little bit public, not by a ton. I don't think want the Braves. 2 great pitchers. It seems like always good games. And the Braves, it's really, they got to get going as our bottom half. The whole lineup. But, the top 4 guys or so, 5 guys will be all right. But De La Cruz, Kelenic, I don't know how much long, Murphy, he hasn't been very good. They got to get going. These pitchers are great. I think it's Phillies, though. I lean that way in this game. I mean, Chris Sale, I think, could shut him down. And they both have good numbers. They see each other a ton. Not, homers and stuff, but averages are down, of course, with these 2. But I think the Phillies could get it in this game. I lean their way a little.
All right, Minnesota and Kansas City, Twins and Royals. Royals minus 125 home favorites at Kauffman Stadium, 7.5 the total in this game. It looks like here in this matchup, we're going to see, wait a minute, I think I've got my days screwed up here. Yeah, I've got it on Wednesday's baseball card. There we go. That's better. Now we've got the Tuesday slate ahead of me. Yeah, Pablo Lopez and Cole Reagans. It's exactly what I thought it was. Pablo Lopez, first start, wasn't very good. A lot better in his last start, though, against the White Sox. We'll see if he can keep it rolling here against Kansas City. This is a team that he shut down pretty well last year, 3-0 record in 3 starts against the Royals, gave up 4 runs in 22 innings. So he pitched well against the Royals last year. Reagans, meanwhile, he pitched very well against the Twins last year as well, and he got off to a pretty good start this year. Only gave up 3 runs to Cleveland, 1 run, 10 strikeouts last start against Milwaukee. You maybe lean a little bit to an under here in this game. And from a side perspective right now, when you look at these two teams, when I look at Minnesota, there's still some issues with this offense on a consistent basis. The Royals have started to put it together. They've won 3 of their last 4. Their form's been a little bit better. 4-3 at home, 2-5 on the road, 3-7 overall. Minnesota. I guess I lean Royals here, but not a strong opinion. Not a game I got involved with too much. C-Mac, what do you think?
That's what I felt like. I mean, is there really a ton of value here? I mean, Royals, I think the number's right. Reagan's a little bit better pitcher. Twins, can they get going? So they hit a lefty. Buxton hasn't really done anything. Correa. They got Ty France in the lineup. And then Pablo Lopez. I had such a good read with him early on in his career in the Marlins. With the Twins, it's been tough to figure out. And even when he pitches well, it seems like he always gives up a few runs. Anyways, at least seen the last few years. So I lean the Royals here. I think they can get the job done. But I didn't think there was a ton.
Texas Rangers, Chicago Cubs, Wrigley Field. Cubs -160, home favorites, 8 the total. Jameson Taillon on the mound here for the Cubs, and we've got our old buddy, our old favorite fade. He has been for me, Patrick Corbin, on the mound here.
No, yeah, he's got to fade him, man.
Yeah, you're already on what I like here. I like Cubs team total over 4.5. I think it gets there. In this game, over 4.5 even money. I like this full game over. I got it at 7.5. I still like it at 8. I agree with the move up. I think we're going to see runs. And Taillon's not exactly a guy I fully trust, and Texas has been hitting pretty decently here to begin the season. So I think Texas gets some runs too, and I think certainly the Cubs will do their share of damage. And the Cubs have been hitting lefties pretty well here early in the season as well. So Cubs team total over rather than laying the big price, and I like the full game over as well. C-Mac, what do you think? Rangers, Cubs.
Yeah, this is one that's, weather's, I mean, it's cold, but, I don't see how Taillon gives it up, too. I mean, it's a little shocking, I think, Cubs, because I grabbed it, too, their team total. I got +110 earlier, and the numbers are just, like, Hap, 6 for 16. Like, these guys just crush them. Suzuki, 4 for 10 with 2 homers. Justin Turner, I was going to 17 for 42, just has ate him up in the 4-hole. Needs to get going, by the way. Dansby Swanson already has 3 or 4 homers this year. Has great numbers. I mean, I don't know how. He better pitch, be on, because, I think the Cubs here at home are the play.
All right, we go to Milwaukee and Colorado. Brewers -160 road favorites, and the total here at 9.5. We've got Freddie Peralta and Kyle Freeland, the veteran lefty. He is a veteran now. He's been around a long time for the Rockies. You look at Freddie Peralta, pretty well. I guess he was all right in his first start against the Yankees. 2 runs, 5 innings. He was excellent in his last start against Kansas City. This is a different ballpark, tougher elements, and we'll see how he fares in them. Freeland for the Rockies, a little bit not the greatest outing against Philadelphia. 3 runs, 9 hits, 6.2 innings. Did pitch well against Tampa. What's funny about Freeland is last year down the stretch in this ballpark, he didn't pitch too well. So my first thought is lean over. Anytime this is a below double digits total at Coors Field, I could only look over this number, and I think there's a chance we can see this game get up and over 9.5 here. C-Mac, what do you think?
Well, it's a little bit too. The Rockies here, the offense needs to get going. That's why it's kind of stayed down. They just haven't hit really a lick, even at home. Been able to get them here, at least at home, a few games. First 5, they've come through. Kind of lean over too. Freddie Peralta, one thing, the last few years, he gives up the fucking long ball. I think he's given up like 25 here.
This ballpark, that's for sure. Yep.
No, the strikeouts are still there, and they are 26 back-to-back years. Yep. 12 and 10, 11 and 9. So maybe he gets. I was looking. Of course, when I looked at the Rockies, it's McMahon, Tovar. I think those are the 2 guys to look at that always come through, or even Doyle, maybe his total bases.
Houston, Seattle. We got the Mariners minus 140 home favorite, 7 the total, shaded to the under here in this game. A lot of money coming in here on the Seattle Mariners, as Houston was a slight road favorite. Now the Mariners laying a pretty good price. Seattle comes back to beat Houston 4-3 last night. Houston, there's problems, man. They're not playing good baseball. They're 4-6 to begin the year. Not that Seattle's much better, but like I said, they've had some problems. I don't know what happened to Framber Valdez last start. It was not good. 4 runs, 2 home runs. He was awful, and I backed him in that game, and he just didn't have it. 5 runs, 4 hits in that game. He has pitched well against Seattle, so maybe this is a bounce back spot for the lefty. Castillo has shut down the Astros pretty good. Last 2 starts of the year against Houston for Luis Castillo. He pitched pretty well. He's been pretty solid in his first 2 starts. Pitched really well in his last start against Detroit. Only gave up 2 runs in 7 innings. You got to think Valdez is better than he showed in his last start. And Seattle's offense is kind of hit or miss. So I lean to the under. I haven't bet. I'm not going to bet Houston. I'm going to stay off. I'm going to let Valdez show me that he's back on track after that bad last start. But I think there is some value on him in a bounce back spot against Houston now that Seattle's laying the price like this. What do you think here?
That's how I feel. But I'm like, man, I don't really want to bet them until I start seeing it a little bit. They have,
and their bullpen,
like talked about yesterday,
they're finding ways to cough up games too. That bullpen of Houston. That's
a little bit why I lean under. I think he pitches better. We were hanging a 7 here, and first 5's 3.5. You always get with that 4, 3-1 game or 2-2, and then of course, I always like to have 7.5. Everyone would, but so I lean that way too. One thing to look at, not a ton, but he hasn't been. Finally hit a big home run, but Jordan 8 for 17 with a double and 3 homers. You're not getting a bargain with him.
No,
but maybe look to him. His RBI is still like plus 150. Or you can get a number like the best number around. So I think that might be worth it.
All right, we move to Baltimore, Arizona. Pretty much minus 110 even money here on both sides. 9.5 the total, shaded to the under. Old man Charlie Morton for Baltimore, and we've got Merrill Kelly on the mound here for the Arizona Diamondbacks. One thing that's pretty consistent about Merrill Kelly, you get him at Chase Field, pretty damn good pitcher. He's a little bit shaky at times on the road, and certainly saw that in his last start. The Yankees just bombed him. 9 runs in just 3.2 innings at Yankee Stadium. But he pitched very well here in Arizona against Chicago. The Cubs in his first start, 1 run, and most of his numbers at home have been pretty good. He's been like Gallen for this team, where he's better at home than he is on the road throughout much of his career. Charlie Morton's a fade for me. I don't think this guy is pitching well. And finally, you figured at some point Father Time is not going to knock on Charlie Morton's door. Maybe it's happening right now, because he's given up 9 runs, 13 hits in just 8.1 innings of work against the Blue Jays. Now, Blue Jays and Red Sox capable lineups, but still, Charlie Morton just hasn't been very good. I like Arizona. Bounce back spot. Baltimore clobbered them last night. I think Arizona gets them back tonight with Merrill Kelly pitching better at home. So minus 110, I like Arizona. The Snakes. I like the team total over 4.5 as well for Arizona in this game. I think they get to Morton. Lean to the full game over as well. A small bet on that, but I like the Arizona looks in particular here. Money line Diamondbacks, team total over for Arizona, 4.5 as well. C-Mac, what do you think here? Baltimore, Arizona.
Yeah, I kind of think D-backs get the win. I mean, it's so early, but Marte being out, it's not going to help this offense.
No.
You know what I mean?
Impact injury. No doubt.
It is tough. At last, Machado came through with the RBI, 2 doubles to center, and Naylor had a double. I mean, but anyways, he could have come through. I'd still look to him. With Charlie Morton, a guy gives up the long ball. The last start he gave up 2. He did have 10 Ks. He still, at his age, could pitch. But what do we get for Merrill Kelly? I mean, his best year last year. He got lit up at Yankee Stadium, right, in that start. I think he could pitch better. But this Orioles team, these kids this lineup's great. Like, they could go in there and put up, just like yesterday, 5 or 6 runs. So 9.5. I lean over, but I don't mind the Arizona if we're kind of looking at them today.
All right, Cincinnati Reds and San Francisco Giants. We've got the Giants minus 130, home favorites, 7.5 the total. Ruopp on the mound for the Giants, and Nick Lodolo, the lefty here for the Cincinnati Reds. I'm a big fan of Lodolo. I am. I think Lodolo's got the potential to be a solid starter for this rotation. The Giants have been so-so against lefties early in the year, 219 average. Giants have gotten off to a great start. 8-1 they were until they were cooled off last night by the flamethrower, Hunter Green, who dazzled 8.2 innings, nearly a complete game for Hunter Green, shutting out the Giants 2-0. Sometimes when you're on this crazy win streak like the Giants were, 8 in a row, and you lose one, sometimes you lose 2, sometimes you lose 3, and you start to, kind of go the other way. Regression starts to hit. I kind of like the Reds here to keep the momentum going. Giants are still a very solid, capable team, but I like Lodolo. He's pitched well early in this season. Giants have so-so numbers against lefties. I think the Reds as a dog are worth a look, and I'll probably split it up first 5 full game Cincinnati here. C-Mac, what do you think?
I think, I don't know what we're going to get here, how long Landon Rope could go. But you got to think at home he's going to pitch all right here. I kind of like this under, it's 7.5 because I think Lodolo can pitch well again. And we're just off it, though. Last night, both pitchers pitched well. Yep. Logan Webb was solid, just giving up the few. But that's the only thing I could be on here. I wanted to just double check. The weather really doesn't matter there in San Francisco anyways, but I just wanted to check it. That wind just swirls, and even if it blows out under is fine there. Yeah, it's just blowing out 55 degrees. Yeah.
I would lean under. Like I say, we'll see how Rope pitches. Since I think he can do enough in this ballpark, especially to keep Cincinnati in check. And I think the Reds can. I like Lodolo's form early in the season. I think he can pitch well here. So, like I said, the under, I don't mind that at all. But I like the value here as a small dog with Cincinnati, and for San Francisco to come back down to earth just a little bit, after their first. Their 8-game win streak. All right, our final game for this Tuesday night MLB card, San Diego and the Athletics. That's all they're called, the Athletics. San Diego minus 135, road favorites, 8 the total. Of course, all these games remain in Sacramento, these Athletics home games here in 2025. And until I see a damn adjustment with these totals in this ballpark, it is over until I see something changed. Another over for me here in this ballpark. Cashed it last night with the over, San Diego and the Athletics. I was also on the Padres team total in that game. I think the Padres team total might be a good bet again here. Jeffrey Springs, he's a crafty pitcher, was initially in the Rays organization, now with this A's team. But, when you look at San Diego this year and, decent numbers against lefties, Dylan Cease is the guy that normally you'd say you really want to bet an over, but he struggled in his first start against Atlanta. He was a lot better against Cleveland, but there's still issues with home run balls going back to last year at times with Dylan Cease. And this has been a bandbox of a ballpark where the ball is just flying out, and it's been home runs galore, like a mini home run derby every night here in Sacramento for these Athletics home games.
That bomb Tatis hit was just... Man, that was a shot.
That was, no doubt. So, like I said, put it this way. This is, for the Athletics, their 5th game of the season in Sacramento. The first 4 games had 21, 11, 12, and 9 runs. 9 was the minimum last night. That game had 9 runs. And then the other 3 home games in Sacramento in the Cubs series were double digits, 21, 11, and 12 runs. So this 8s are too low for this ballpark. Give me the over. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know. I think 8 is too low. Like, these pitchers are decent. We'll see. We talked about with Machado yesterday. Merrill sat. He's got a little bit of a hamstring. He might sit again. Their lineup isn't out yet, but I think if he plays, instead they're just watching it, I guess. But I think you go to him tonight. But on the other side, I got to take. Soderstrom's been 6 home runs, been great in the 3-hole. But I think either him or Brent Rooker, you got to take in this ballpark. And the A's taking some money too. This has dropped a little bit. Padres opened 145. This is down to like 130. It's moved here a little bit. A's might be live.
All right, C-Mac leaning A's here, plus 115 in this matchup against San Diego. All right, good stuff. There you have it. That's a Tuesday card. Shout out to the entire chat. Nick Ovento, KP, Daniel, Brian Flynn, Gold Jew, Gerald Jones, Tim York, Timothy Haig, Tyke, Steven Jackson, and Nick. We already mentioned Nick, but appreciate you guys joining us here for the MLB Hitting the Book Show. We'll be back with you tomorrow and Friday this week. No show Thursday because there's barely any night games on Thursday this week, but we will have a show tomorrow and we will have a show on Friday for you. All right, it's time for Jack of the Day. Favorite home run props. C-Mac, I think you already mentioned a couple that you like. Reiterate, Jack of the Day. What are your favorite home run looks?
Well, I just said it. Rooker plus 450 in that one. I'm going with because the number's huge here. Justin Turner, just because plus 750 for his bomb in that one. And I talked about Lowe plus 475 is the other one for the Rays. That's it.
There you go. Good stuff indeed. I'm riding a streak of for the LA Angels, Logan O'Hoppe. Nice.
Oh, yeah, he's been.
I mean, 4 straight games with a homer plus 475. I'm riding the wave when it comes to him here in this game with what he's been able to accomplish. So I like that as far as a home run prop that's worth a look. I'm going back to the well with my guy from the Cubs in that tonight against, of course, a very hittable pitcher and Patrick Corbin. Kyle Tucker, Chicago Cubs, plus 400 to hit a bomb tonight against Patrick Corbin in that game. So I'll give you those two. Logan O'Hoppe, LA Angels, plus 475. Kyle Tucker, Chicago Cubs, plus 400 for my two Jack of the Day candidates for this card. All right, best bets to wrap it up. C-Mac, best bet for Tuesday, MLB. What do you got?
I'll give it to you. I think the full game goes over, but we talked about Cubs. Team total over 4.5. I think the value plus 110. Cubs.
There you go. Cubs team total over for C-Mac with his best bet for this Tuesday MLB card. My best bet for this Tuesday card, I'm going right back to San Diego and the Athletics over the total. Until they move this number, this is a bet for me that I will be making until I see that it's time we start treating this Sacramento ballpark more like it's Fenway, Yankee Stadium, Camden Yards, maybe not Coors Field, because I don't know if we should be hanging 11.5 in this ballpark, but this total should be closer to 9.5, 10 than 8. Clearly, we've established this. So I think this 8 is too low. I think both offenses can certainly contribute enough for the over. So San Diego and the Athletics over 8, even money. That is going to be my best bet here for this Tuesday MLB card. Shout out to the chat. Great to be here. Great to be back. But now it's MLB full steam ahead for C-Mac and yours truly for the next several weeks and the next few months. So let's make some money on the diamond. That's what we're here to do. So shout out to everybody. Hit the like button on the way out. We appreciate it very much. And again, we've got shows for you on Wednesday and Friday this week. So make sure you join us for those 2 shows as well.
To our guy, Brian, in the chat, with the schedule, for the most part, it's going to be 4 days a week, sometimes 3. Most Thursdays will be off.
Yes,
there's a lot of
always
early
more day games than night games on most Thursdays. Yeah.
Yes. So think about at least those days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and maybe we'll have a Tuesday off. We'll let you know, but just think of that. Thursdays will be off for sure with the schedule. And yeah, shout out to my guy Fernando Mendoza. Hit the like button. Appreciate it, my dude.
No doubt. We appreciate you, Fernando. Thanks a lot. Very much. Appreciate that. And yeah, hit the like button and subscribe. Do all that good stuff to help the channel. No doubt about it. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Tuesday night. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday, same time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Books show. Until then, class dismissed.